In the heart of a quiet African village, a scream tore through the night. Not from fear, but from betrayal so deep it could set the sky on fire. A pregnant woman, a burning flame. And a husband blinded by a darkness no one saw coming. This is the story of Amahle, a gentle soul who carried life inside her. And the man who tried to destroy both. But fate has a way of balancing the scales. And the revenge she would rise to deliver would burn deeper than any flame he ever touched her with. The moon hung low over Mabina village, casting long shadows that danced between the mud huts. Inside one of them, Amahle rubbed her growing belly, humming a lullaby to the child she had prayed for 5 long years to conceive. Her happiness felt warm, so warm she didn't notice the coldness that had taken over her husband, Zuberi. That night, Zuberi stormed into their hut, his eyes bloodshot, his fists shaking. "Amahle, tell me the truth," he growled. "Whose child is this?" Amahle froze. "My husband, it is ours. The ancestors have blessed us." But Zuberi's jealousy had been poisoned by village whispers. Whispers that said he was cursed. Whispers that claimed he could never father a child. He stared at her belly, his face twisted by a madness she had never seen. He grabbed a burning firewood stick from the hearth. "Zuberi, no, please," she cried as she stumbled backward. But the rage in him was louder than her voice, louder than the child's heartbeat inside her. And then, a flash of fire. A scream. And the smell of burning skin filled the hut. Amahle collapsed to the floor, clutching her belly, tears and ash mixing on her face. Zuberi dropped the stick as if it suddenly weighed 1,000 stones. "What have I done?" But Amahle wasn't looking at him anymore. Her eyes were fixed forward, cold, steady, unblinking. Something inside her had changed. Not just her pain. Her purpose. Because from that night onward, Zuberi would learn that flames do not only destroy. Sometimes, they awaken something far more dangerous. Something that burns deeper. The villagers heard Amahle's scream before they saw the smoke. By the time Mama Nandi, the village healer, burst into the hut, Zuberi had vanished into the night like a coward fleeing his own shadow. But Amahle, she lay still, trembling, her hands wrapped protectively around her belly. "Amahle! My child, who did this to you?" Mama Nandi cried. Amahle's lips parted, but no voice came out, only a faint whimper. Her skin was blistered, her breath shaky. Yet her eyes did not hold fear. They held something colder. Something carved from pain and rising from the ashes. The healer placed her palms on Amahle's belly, then gasped. "The child is still alive." Amahle closed her eyes. A tear escaped, but it wasn't fear, it was determination. Her child had survived the flames. And because of that, she could not die yet. By morning, Mabina village buzzed with whispers. "Zuberi has lost his mind. They say he attacked Amahle. The ancestors will punish him." "No. Amahle will." But no one dared say these things too loudly. Zuberi's family was powerful, and secrets in Mabina had a way of disappearing before dawn. When Amahle gained strength, Mama Nandi sat beside her, grinding herbs. "My daughter," she began softly, "the wound will heal. But the scar will speak." Amahle looked up, confused. "What do you mean?" Mama Nandi paused, then leaned close. "Last night, when I touched your belly, I felt something unusual. The ancestors were restless. As if protecting your child." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "They are not finished with you, Amahle." A chill crept over Amahle's spine. Not fear, but the sense that something bigger than her suffering had awakened. Late that evening, as the village fire crackled, Zuberi returned. But he did not enter the healer's hut demanding forgiveness. He did not cry or fall to his knees. He simply stood at the doorway, silent. His eyes were too calm, too steady for a man who had nearly burned his pregnant wife alive. Amahle's hand tightened around the mat. Mama Nandi stepped protectively in front of her. "What do you want?" the healer snapped. Zubari's voice was soft, unsettlingly soft. "I came to speak to my wife." "You lost that right," Mama Nandi hissed. But Amahle raised her hand. "Let him speak." Zubari stepped closer, eyes locked on Amahle's belly. "The child lives," he said flatly. "Then the truth is clear. You were never meant to carry my blood." Amahle's breath hitched. "So even now, you believe the lies?" Zubari's jaw twitched. "I spoke to someone," he replied. "They told me everything." "Who?" Amahle demanded. He hesitated, just for a heartbeat. Then he whispered a name that made Mama Nandi's face drain of color. "Adolfo." The room fell into silence so heavy it choked the air. Mama Nandi grabbed Amahle's wrist urgently. "You must not speak with this man. His spirit is tainted." Zubari's expression darkened. "He told me the child is not mine, and that Amahle carries a curse." Amahle stared at him, her anger trembling beneath her skin. But what frightened her most wasn't his accusation. It was the name he spoke. Adolfo. A man long believed dead. A man tied to forbidden rituals. A man who once sought power through dark offerings. And had vanished after a mysterious fire years ago. A fire that looked eerily similar to the one Zubari created. Amahle realized then. Zubari hadn't acted alone. Someone was whispering to him. Someone was guiding him. Someone who wanted her child. And the real danger was only just beginning. Amahle learned the truth too late. Adolfo, the man Zubari spoke to, wasn't a sorcerer. He was Amahle's long-lost brother, stolen as a child and raised by those who practiced dark rituals. Adolfo had poisoned Zubari's mind, convincing him the unborn child carried a curse. But when Adolfo returned to claim the baby for a ritual, Zubari finally realized he had been manipulated. In a moment of desperate redemption, Zubari shielded Amahle and their unborn child from Adolfo's attack, taking the fatal blow meant for them. As Adolfo fled into the night, wounded and defeated, Amahle held Zubari as he whispered, "Forgive me, protect our child." Years later, Amahle raised her son with strength, teaching him the truth. Pain can make you cruel, or it can make you wise. Choose wisdom. Choose kindness. Break the cycle.